All right, Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling more in the scriptures. Salutations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. And this is just going to be a quick lesson, and it's really going into the fact that that the power that the serpent gave to Eve is quickly dwindling. All right, it's quickly going down the drain. All right, because it goes back to the book of Genesis. All right, and that pact that was made with the serpent. All right, so I'm gonna go into it, and Lord willing, it's edifying. This is Genesis 3:1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtile than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And that fruit, all right, of this tree in the midst of the garden, all right, is going into other doctrines of other nations, man. Because what the Lord gave us, what we needed, or he gave Adam and Eve, which is really not just two people, but a nation of people. He gave them verbally what they should be doing, which would be what compared to the law, statutes, and commandments today for the nation of Israel. All right, so the woman, as you can see her in this society, has eaten of many different doctrines. And this is just the Israelite woman, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American woman, which is why they're completely out of order. All right. And that goes back to what? Them being seduced by the serpent, a man, a nation. All right. Here in Genesis' 3rd chapter, to do what? To eat of those different ideologies, to eat of those different ways outside of what? Their the ways of the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, verse 4, And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Verse 5, For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So if you go into this word knowing, the word knowing is yadai. It says to know, learn to know, to perceive and see, find out, discern, to know by experience, to have knowledge, be wise, to know how, be skillful, to make oneself known, to be perceived, to be instructed. All right. So when this took place, the woman, all right, Eve, all right, which is compared to today, all right, went into knowing different ways outside of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is wickedness. All right, because the Lord gave us what? The law, statutes, and commandments, which is it's compared to, just like he gave Adam and Eve a way, all right, during the time of Genesis. Okay, so let's read it again. Genesis 3:4, And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Because what? The serpent back then was what? A prognosticator, or a witch or warlock. Let's go into it real quick. The word serpent. See here real quick. The word for serpent is nakash. Now let's go into, let's see here. Let's go deeper into nakash. If you go deeper into it, it says to practice divination. This is the serpent. Divine, observe signs, learn by experience. And that's Esau today. Practicing divination of the earth, witchcraft, enchantment. Look, it says following manner enchantment. That's why in Revelation, or I believe in Isaiah the 47th chapter. All right, let me get it real quick. This is Isaiah 47. Let's see here real quick. Isaiah 47 verse 12. Verse 11, verse 10, For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Now Esau is just another reincarnation of the serpent, because the serpent was a man and nation, all right, during the time of Genesis, just like Adam and Eve. All right, now today you have Esau, the serpent, man and nation. You have Adam and Eve, the nation of Israel. All right, the man and woman of the nation of Israel is nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. It's talking about Esau in this time. All right, showing you that he's the serpent. All right, back in the garden. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come up upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Verse 12 is the point. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. And that's talking about going back into the garden, and he was going back to the fact that he was a serpent from his youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So let's go back into, because if you go into that word serpent, Esau's the devil, so he put Nakash. Then if you go to the root word or etymology, you go deeper into it, it's still the word Nakash, but then it has a deeper meaning. It says to practice divination, to divine, to observe signs. That's Esau. Learn by experience. That's why he has witches and warlocks. The brother, dang, what brother is that? The brother, GMS Lions in Rome from the Dallas camp. He went into the witchcraft that they blatantly show you on TV. You know, you have witches and warlocks like David Blaine, Chris Angel. What do? They practice divination. You see, and that's what is done in this man's society. And this is the same thing that Eve does. All right. She practices witchcraft, and she's basically deluded and has been seduced by the serpent in this time, which is why she looks at her own man as a nigga, as a jackass, like Apostle Gabar said. You see, because she has been seduced once again by this serpent. All right, now let's read it again. Genesis 3:1 again. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast. Now we know what that serpent is, that man and nation of people that practice divination. Those are the Edomites today. They practice divination, witchcrafts, all right, sorceries. And once again, they have seduced our women into wickedness again. Just like the serpent beguiled Eve. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made, and he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. That's talking about the Lord told them you can eat of this knowledge. All right, now let's get a precept real quick. The Lord was talking about his knowledge. This is Jeremiah 15. Jeremiah 15, let's see here. Jeremiah 15:15. O Yahweh, thou knowest, remember me and visit me and revenge me of my persecutors. Take me not away in thy long suffering. Know that for thy sake I have suffered rebuke. The words were found, this truth, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and I did eat them. And thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart, for I am called by thy name, O Yahweh, God of hosts. Okay, this is what the Lord wanted us to eat. This is what the Lord wanted Eve to eat, told Adam and Eve to eat, not the other things of the other fruits of this tree in the midst of the garden, which was the doctrine of other nations. Okay, things we shouldn't be understanding. The knowledge of good and evil, as it said. So back in Genesis 3, it says, verse 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, which is other things contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. That's Esau today. And our nation is likened unto a woman. It tells you in the scriptures Israel is likened unto a comely, delicate woman. So you see, you have our nation eating of all these ways, doing things contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. All right, so this is manifold, as you can see. All right, but what I was trying to point on is that our women have been defiled by what? Different ideologies, and not the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, which is why the woman, the Israelite woman and women, all right, and the serpent are both dwindling out of power in this time, man. Okay, because this is being disannulled by this pact that they made. All right, the beguiling of the serpent to Eve, or the beguiling of Eve by the serpent. I'm sorry. All right, it's dwindling, and it goes all the way back to this time in the garden. You see, and the brother Manatazakba, Elder Manatazakba, was a woman came on his comment board, and she tried to say, "Oh, you guys talk about this bad thing," and his response is basically, "Fuck you." All right, because why are the women saying things like that? Because they're losing that power, all right, that came from this pact that we're reading. All that goes all the way back to the garden, man. Okay, so let's keep reading a little bit more. Genesis 3 and 5, for the Most High, for the Elohim, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, for the power doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat. All right, so we read in Jeremiah 15 how the Lord gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding by way of the law, statutes, and commandments to eat. All right. So Eve, a woman in nation, our women, it's likened unto our women, did eat of what? Other ideologies, witchcraft, sorceries, the things that the serpent was practicing, things contrary to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, let me get a scripture. Let's go to Jeremiah 15 again. Jeremiah 15 and 16, because what the Lord gave us in the beginning, he gave to Adam and Eve, all right, verbally what they were supposed to be doing, which ultimately developed into the law, statutes, and commandments being given to the nation of Israel later on down the line. We were supposed to eat of the law, statutes, and commandments. Verse Jeremiah 15:16, thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart. For I am called by thy name, O Yahweh, power of hosts. All right, so let's go into Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. And what are these things in the nations that we're amongst? The nations that we're amongst, our people, all right, starting with our women, all right, are eating up the ways of these other nations around us, even in this time, and have been. You see? Deuteronomy 7:1, when Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. All right, so what our people have done, which is why we're in this state, all right, is they have eaten of the ways of these other nations when the Lord told us not to eat of these things. These other trees, other fruits. All right, Lord told us to be separate and eat of this word. That was the Lord, that was likened unto the Lord during the time of Genesis, telling Adam and Eve to eat of the certain fruits of the trees he, all right, bid them to. But then you had the serpent, all right, the worker of divination. You go into the word Nakash, go deeper into the primitive root, all right, of the etymology. It says to practice. This is the serpent today. To practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience, diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen. To practice divination, to observe the signs. Let's go down to the Strongs. A whisper, a magic spell, generally to prognosticate. That's the spirit. Now let's get this. Back in Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47:12. Stand now with thine enchantments. It's talking about Esau now, because he is that serpent. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, because, like I said, the power of the serpent and Eve is dwindling now. It's dwindling, and the Lord is taking it away, and the Lord's gonna end it and that's why He's bringing back these laws, statutes, and commandments, and He's giving us through the Spirit and power of Habashim Yahushua the eyes and the mind to understand, all right, and to be able to do what? To eat of to eat of the fruits of His word, like Jeremiah the 15th chapter said. All right. So ultimately, we are that. Israel is likened unto a comely, delicate woman. We are actually doing what we're supposed to do. We're eating of the right fruits this time, man. Okay. Isaiah 47:13-12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. You see? So this is from the garden, it's describing the serpent from the garden all the way up until now, man. And now we're at the end, all right, of the serpent, Esau, the wicked. Okay, so let me get some real quick. As you can see here, this is the word Nakash, and this is when you go into the word serpent in Genesis 3. You have the word here, prognosticate. Okay, or to divine. Okay, so if you go to Isaiah 47, which we're reading, let's go down here, and we're going to go into the word prognosticator. You have the word yadai, to know, and we just read that in what? Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Let's go back to it. So this whole pact of wickedness between the serpent and his establishment of it, and his rebellion against the Most High, all right, and his beguiling of Eve is coming to an end. So if you go down to let's read verse 5 again, Genesis 5 and Genesis 3 and 5. For the Most High doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, back when the serpent told Eve that the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, eat of what? Those other ways outside of the Lord's ways, other fruits, other trees of other nations, other doctrines. All right. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. You go into this word knowing, you die. To know, let's see here real quick. To know, to consider, to perceive and see, to know by experience, to have knowledge, be wise. In what? Wickedness and things that the Lord said not to be wise in, man. All right, but ultimately we're knowing both good and evil now, because what? We're becoming gods on the right hand side. We are becoming powers on the right hand side. You see, Esau is the left hand side. Okay, so back to Isaiah 47. So now we know what that word knowing means in the blue letter. Let's go back to prognosticator. Let's see here. It's the same word. You die. because Esau is on the left hand side. We're learning and starting to know on the right hand side, Isaiah, the right way. And that's why Eve and the serpent, who are on the left hand side, are dwindling away, because the Lord is setting up the right hand on the earth now. All right. The 144,000, all right, innumerable multitude, all under Yahushai. All right. The son of the right hand. You see, because it tells you in the scriptures that Yahushai sat down at the right hand of the Most High. All right. That's why you have the tribe of Benjamin. And the word Benjamin in the Hebrew is Banyamyan, which means son of the right. Okay, the Israelites are the righteous side of the Most High, and the Edomites are the wicked side of the Most High. And the Edomites ultimately go back to the serpent, a man and people, back in the book of Genesis, Ecclesiastes 29. Nothing is new under the sun. All right, Isaiah 47 and 12 again. Stand now, and this is the Lord bringing them down now in this time. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and monthly prognosticators, we went into that word, Yadai, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. All right. Verse 14. You know what? That's it. All right. So, hopefully I proved the point. Let's get Revelation 18. I believe that's all I had. Yep. Revelation 18, and we ended off here. This is Revelation 18, verse verse 23. All right, because we're coming into the time where the Lord is ending, all right, and taking down Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who goes back and is the same, all right, comes in the same spirit of the serpent, a man and nation, during the time of Genesis that beguiled Eve. So this is why you see Eve and Esau failing in this time, man. All right, Revelation 18 and 23. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries, those divinations, were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. So this man is being taken down. That pact, all right, between Esau, the serpent, and Eve, all right, which culminated all the way up until now, all right, which is the same pact between Esau and the Israelite woman, all right, is being taken away by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. All right, so that's really all I had through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, this man's divination and witchcrafts and knowledge of wickedness on the left hand side, all right, is about to be no more, man. We are at the end of left hand wicked, the left side of the Most High, and wickedness on the earth, man. All right, so Lord willing us edifying, call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. Salutations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom and Abba Babal.